This next tactic is called the skewer, which is the reverse of a pin, where the higher rated piece is the piece shielding the lower rated piece. And when you're doing your evaluations, again, I'm going to be repeating these ideas probably in every video. Uh, you look for checks. You look at everything that can be captured, including sacrifices. Yeah, where you're sacrificing a higher rated piece for a lower rated piece. When it's advantageous for you to do so. So in this position, let's look at it here and just look for those key things. So it's white's turn to move, and we see that uh, white can capture the rook with check, but you notice the queen is defending the rook. So that would be a sacrifice. You would be losing the white queen for a rook, and that's usually not good. But let's look at more checks. White sees that he also has a check here, and but that square is guarded by the rook. So if you can combine the two ideas, and then most of these tactics are related. Later we're going to be looking at a tactic called attraction, and there's the overworked piece. So white combines these two ideas and sees, because he has these checks, which are the most forcing moves, and that makes your opponent do your bidding. So white captures the rook with check. Now black has to respond, and he's down a rook now. So, but he probably, well, anyway, he's going to lose anyway. So he takes the queen. Now the rook skewers the king. You see that it's X-raying the queen, and the king has to move. And now the rook is free to capture the queen, and white will win the game, being up a whole piece. Now let's look at another quick example of a skewer. Let me set up the board here. Okay, I've quickly popped a new board up here. And if we look at let's look at the material balance. We have two rooks against a rook, a bishop, and a knight, and 4 pawns and 4 pawns. So remember, right now we're just doing tactical evaluations. Later we'll learn how to do positional evaluations, which involve looking at some of the basic elements that I talked about in one of the beginner videos, having to do with space, time, and force development, all sorts of variables, the piece quality. Okay, so let's continue with our tactical ideas here and with the skewer. And again, we look at checks. You look at pieces that are already attacked and pieces that can be attacked. And you look at pieces that are undefended, because that gives you the initiative when you attack them, right? They have to be defended or they have to run. It is white's turn to move here. Okay, we see a sacrificial check with the rook, but the king can take it, so that's no big deal. The other pieces are out of reach. And so we have no checks with our rooks or pawns, but we do see an undefended bishop here and an undefended knight. So maybe there's a possibility for a sort of skewer. I call any line like this. So if the rook attacks, I mean, even though these pieces are of equal value, it's a skewer nonetheless. So the bishop can't be defended right now. Yeah, the knight can't defend it, the rook can't defend it, and because the knight is on a light-colored square, the bishop can't defend the knight. So when it runs, wherever it runs to, the rook would be free to capture the knight. So look for undefended pieces, checks, all possible captures, and you'll be able to find these tactics in your own games. Now proceed to tactic number 6, called the discovered attack.